pundit hearing about the rape of women in the military asks, what do they expect? An anchorman tells a black professor that he looks like a cocaine dealer. Another anchor says no more mosques until we've worked out if worshippers are terrorists. An alarmist broadcast tells us Muslims have taken over Birmingham and there are places in France where Sharia law reigns and no white person dare go. It can only be Fox News. When Twitter exploded in collective laughter at Fox News' assertion that Birmingham was overrun by Muslims, the hashtag Fox News Facts made fun of the channel's penchant for making it up as they go along. But while the pundit who made the claim was forced to apologise, Fox was not chastened. Indeed, soon it was reporting claims during an interview with UKIP leader Nigel Farage that there were no-go areas for non-Muslims in France. French newspapers were outraged, the French embassy was livid, and the mayor of Paris promised to sue the channel. But this is far from the first time that it's been caught so brazenly out with fabrications and continued as if nothing had gone wrong. Because Fox, the notorious right-wing broadcaster owned by Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation, is the most profitable part of the whole corporate empire. It consistently tops the ratings in cable news, and its shows such as The O'Reilly Factor are the most popular news programs in the United States. Its coverage of last year's midterm elections topped the ratings. Whatever people watch Fox News for, it isn't the news. The independent fact-checking institution PolitiFact points out that only 18% of statements made by Fox hosts are accurate. What Fox News offers instead is a carefully crafted series of right-wing messages which work with the grain of their market demographic. Cable news is the province of older white men. Half of Fox's viewers are over 68, so it offers stories which explain the country's problems and the decline of old ideas about race and gender by blaming them on traitors and foreigners. But Fox doesn't just give the audience what it wants. Research shows that it consistently hardens the right-wing positions of its viewers, whether on immigration, public spending, the minimum wage, or same-sex marriage. In other words, Fox, under its dominating chief Roger Ailes, is an integral part of a right-wing power bloc in the United States, cultivating a base for the Republican right. How did Fox gain this degree of influence? To understand this is to understand the canny commercial and political strategies of the mogul behind it all, Rupert Murdoch. Murdoch's combined commercial and political strategy was first developed in the UK newspaper market. He understood that with commercial success would come ideological power. He purchased two newspapers at the popular end of the market, the News of the World in 1968 and The Sun in 1969. He combined cost-saving technologies with a shift in content towards light entertainment, sensationalism, and sport. Having built his consumer base, he switched his newspaper's political sympathies to align with the new right, and he developed a close alliance with Margaret Thatcher, helping to popularize right-wing ideas. In return, she deployed the Metropolitan Police to help him bust print unions so that he could restructure the production process. With the profits he made as a result, he was able to expand into broadcasting, first with B-Sky B and its 24-hour news channel Sky, and then with Fox. And here he pursued the same patient commercial and political strategy, building a consumer base with popular content such as The Simpsons, and then creating a new outlet for the proprietor's ideology and building links with the political right. Fox News went on air in 1996 just as Microsoft was cutting a deal with the mainstream commercial channel NBC to launch MSNBC. To compete with this fusion of new and old media, Fox would have to fight hard for a market niche. To do this, it identified the conservative talk radio market as its most likely base and developed primetime talk programming designed to appeal to this demographic. It was able to work this niche thanks to the abolition in 1987 of the Federal Communication Commission's Fairness Doctrine, which had required balance in news production. It was hugely successful. The O'Reilly Factor, fronted by the right-wing Irish-American Bill O'Reilly, was the jewel in the crown. But it wasn't until 11th of September 2001, when suddenly cable news viewing figures shot up, that Fox made its biggest splash. For in the ensuing year, its hardline, right-wing message drew in frightened, bigoted Americans in droves. By January 2002, Fox had overtaken CNN as the #1 cable news network in America. Once again, however, this was not simply a matter of giving the audience what it wanted. Fox had an agenda. The president of Fox News was Roger Ailes, a long-established figure on the right who had advised Nixon, Reagan, and Bush Sr. In the immediate aftermath of the Twin Tower attacks, he sent a confidential memo to the Bush administration urging it to act swiftly, advocating the harshest measures possible. And as Bush went to war, first in Afghanistan, then in Iraq, Fox News marched with him. Lining up retired generals turned pundits and commentators from right-wing think tanks such as the Rand Corporation, Fox pushed all the administration's talking points. Their visual themes were a waving American flag icon and a banner slogan, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Their news themes, Saddam had weapons of mass destruction and was linked to Al-Qaeda, but war would be a cakewalk. As the network's star host Sean Hannity put it, "We're going to win this, and we're going to win it sooner rather than later." None of these claims withstood the test of time, but they forced the other media outlets to follow suit. MSNBC adopted the Stars and Stripes logo, sacked a prominent war critic from its staff, and hired the right-wing talk show host Michael Savage to get in on Fox News' success. And Fox's agenda came from the top. Murdoch and Ailes dictated the news, and the journalists did as they were told. The 2004 Robert Greenwald documentary Outfoxed interviewed former Fox journalists and pundits explaining how they were pressured to slant stories in favor of the Republican Party. Those who didn't comply were sacked. When Bush was caught torturing Iraqis, Fox News provided cover, justifying these brutal deeds as necessities of the war on terror. And as the Iraq War failed, Fox turned its attention to internal threats, picking up on the right-wing internet's mania for policing Muslims. It was Fox which popularized the Ground Zero mosque panic and promoted figures like Pamela Geller. But by 2006, the Bush administration was weakening, and so was the American right, particularly after the administration's shameful response to Hurricane Katrina, which even Fox found difficult to spin. Fox News kept the faith, however, and by 2008, with a black presidential candidate running for the Democrats, they found a new purpose: race-baiting conspiracy theories. Is Barack Obama a foreigner, a secret Muslim, a socialist? When the Republican right, tacitly encouraged by the shambolic McCain-Palin presidential campaign, began to try to expose Obama in the run-up to the 2008 elections, Fox News made sure they were heard. This turn to promoting conspiracy theories was most clearly associated with the Glenn Beck program, whose dough-faced host became legendary for his blackboard exposés in which the hidden links between radicals plotting against America would be demonstrated. Beck's role was to channel the currents of paranoid reaction on the internet, visible on David Horowitz websites such as Discover the Network, and turn it into televisual product. And this he did with aplomb. As ever, racist scaremongering made it palatable. Obama, he claimed, was out to settle old racial scores, hated white people and white culture, and was using measures such as healthcare reform to assault white property, with the effect of extending the net of totalitarian state control over people's lives. And when a Koch brothers-funded movement expressing these ideas appeared, Beck was its biggest champion. The Tea Party, as it dubbed itself, was the next great awakening. But while Beck was considered clownish for his lachrymose, paranoid broadcasts and ultimately lost his job in 2011, these same themes were pushed across the entire network. Tea Party USA, growing revolution, Fox broadcast reported. Bill O'Reilly, Brett Baier, and a host of Fox personalities used their airtime to vocalize the claims that something like an insurrection against big government spending and Obama's alleged effort to turn us into Europe was taking place. As cable news viewing figures decline, Fox remains commercially strong. It finally reached its goal of raking in $1 billion of profit in 2013. However, it may not be as politically or ideologically powerful as it once was. After 9/11, the right had a clear, central purpose: to brutalize America's enemies wherever it could find them, at home or abroad. Fox News was integral to this agenda, effectively working as a branch of the executive. Yet Murdoch's friends in big business didn't share his agenda. Like the Koch brothers, Murdoch and Ailes constitute a far-right outlier in the business class. Thus, when the Iraq gamble failed, Wall Street and the big industrial corporations backed Obama and the Democrats. Moreover, Fox's hyperventilating about socialism was counterproductive. By 2012, it turned out that 24% of Americans and 45% of Democrats favored socialism. Fox News, no longer linked to authoritarian state power, was reduced to championing the gripes of middle-class malcontents who watch its programs, slandering black men murdered by cops, complaining about protesters, and blurting, "America is awesome," when the Senate released the torture report. But critics should hesitate before dismissing Fox as a moronic circus. All of this absurdity has a purpose, and its billionaire owner has proven tenacious and adaptable in developing his right-wing outlets. Fox may yet have another moment in the sun.